the building of Badr that was with us in Egypt. And that's where our community first formed. And that is where we lived at when we received the glad tidings of the death of King Abdullah, and where we were when basically we had glad tidings of the appearance of Imam al-Mehdi alayhi salam. And that is where the community started. And then we migrated to the second image there, and that is our first place of worship, our first masjid that existed in all of Europe. And it was in a beautiful town called Kropach, Germany. And the believers would gather over there. And then we migrated and we had a city, and the Imam called the city Yanbu' al-Islam, the fountain or the origin of Islam, the source of Islam, or the source of submission. And that was the city that we had in Hällefors or Sävsjön, right? Sweden. And then we have a depiction of the current headquarters for all of Europe for the Dawah, the Ahmadi religion of peace and light, and that is in the United Kingdom, and that is this place here right now. And now we have inside of here a couple of items. We have here the Ark of the Covenant. It is not the original Ark of the Covenant, but it's one that we constructed here for a particular purpose. And we have on top of the Ark, we have two cherubim. Now, in the original design of the Ark of the Covenant, the one that Moses had, the wings of the cherubim were aimed towards one another. And they were actually covering the seat of mercy, or the location, the throne in the middle, whereby God spoke from behind those wings to the Israelites and to Moses and the prophets the chosen prophets that spoke to God after that. And that symbolized that in those times God was worshipped in secret. He was hidden. The narrations of Muhammad and the family of Muhammad state that in the time of the Qa'im, God is worshipped openly. All things that were hidden are revealed. The 27 letters of knowledge that were kept secret from the time of Adam all the way till now, everything comes to light and everything comes into the open. And for that reason, you have the angels now with their wings backwards, and we reveal on there two thrones that are on top of one another. One throne that represents the kingdom of earth, another one represents the kingdom of heaven, because we believe that God is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. He rules above and he rules below. Just like in the Bible, when Jesus appoints to Simon Peter, he tells him, hey, I give you the keys to the kingdoms of the heaven and the kingdoms of the earth, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. So the Imam who rules, he rules by God's rule. God places his will inside of the heart of the Imam, and whatever the Imam does on earth matches what is to be done on heaven. And by that, God's rule is established on earth as it is in heaven above. And so the key, the core, the center of our whole religion is to enable the Jesus of our time, to enable the Muhammad of our time, to enable the Adam, the Moses of our time, to take them as our king, as our Pope, as our Dalai Lama, as our Imam, as our Mehdi, our guide. And that is what the religion is about. The Ark of the Covenant is at the center because it was meant to demonstrate the fact that this used to be the house of the Almighty, the house of God. And the Muslims also have a house of God, just like the Jews did with the Ark of the Covenant. And the house of God is also a square-shaped or cube-shaped, and it is the Kaaba that they call the house of God, the Bayt of Allah. And in reality, these are all allegories, they're references, they're reminders, they're symbols to the fact that the true house of God is the Caliph of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the Adam of the time, and when God created Adam, he created him to be his house. And there's even narrations from Muhammad and the family of Muhammad that state that there is nothing on the earth. There's no temple, there's no mosque, there's no house, there's no synagogue that can contain the Spirit of God. His only house, the only house that can contain him, is the heart of mankind. And for that reason, God dwelt, his spirit was blown into the heart of Adam and the heart of the successors of Adam in every day and age. And the pilgrimage that we are to make in reality is a pilgrimage to the Caliph of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we were taught this as a symbol that we're supposed to migrate to the Kaaba, but in reality what was meant by that was to migrate to the Caliph of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's a topic which we will go over, inshallah, an entire lecture by itself. And so the house of God, the Kaaba, or the Ark of the Covenant, is really the Caliph of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is supposed to sit on the throne of the earth, and he is the voice of God that speaks to Moses and that speaks to mankind in every day and age. And it's interesting too, because you have this depiction of the throne that's there in between these two angels, and you also have narrations from Muhammad and the family of Muhammad that state that when the Qa'im emerges, he will have two angels to his left and to his right, one to his left, one to his right. Gabriel on his right and Michael to his left. And that is a reference to this scene that you see also at the top of the Ark of the Covenant. On the sides of the Ark of the Covenant, you have the seal of the Dawah, and the seal of Ahmad الحسن alayhi salam, and the seal of the Mehdis, and it says on there, هو الله الرحمن الرحيم الواحد القهار. He is Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, the one, the conqueror. And then it says on there, at the top of the Star of David, Muhammad, then Ali, then Al-Hassan, and then you have Al-Fatima on the other side, and you have Al-Hussein, and at the bottom you had Al-Qa'im, who is Abdullah, and you have at the center of it, Ahmad al-Hassan, as a sun that is shining, and it has 15 rays on there, each ray representing one of the infallibles until Ahmad al-Hassan alayhi salam. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. محمد وآل محمد الحمى والمهدي وسلم تسليما.